Imagine you are a hunter 10,000 years ago. Every morning, you wake up and you have one goal. Find the biggest, most dangerous animal in the forest, kill it, and bring it back to the tribe. You are the hero. When you bring back a mammoth, the tribe cheers. You get the highest status. You get the best seat by the fire. But there is a cost no one sees. You are covered in scars. Your joints are screaming. You haven't slept more than 4 hours because you're terrified a predator will take your kill. And the worst part? Tomorrow, you have to do it all over again. If you stop hunting for a week, you lose your status. If you stop for a month, you starve. Now, imagine a second person in that same tribe. This person is ignored. They aren't a hero. They don't have scars. They spent their time building a series of small, efficient traps along the river. While you are out wrestling mammoths, they are sleeping. While you are risking your life, their traps are working silently. They only work 2 hours a day to check the lines. They have half the meat you do, but they have 100% of their time. In 2026, the $100,000 salary is the mammoth. It is a high-status, high-fatigue kill that requires you to show up every single day and risk your mental health just to maintain your seat at the fire. I'm Cole, and I turn complicated money matters into simple explanations. Today, I'm going to show you why the six-figure goal is a biological trap designed to keep you on a treadmill. I'm going to reveal the survival premium, the hidden 40% cost of being a high earner that your lizard brain refuses to see. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you the clinical, mathematical blueprint to live a $100,000 lifestyle on exactly $51,200 a year. If you're ready to stop foraging for paychecks and start farming for freedom, hit that subscribe button. We are about to perform a neuro-audit on your lifestyle. Let's calculate. Most of you believe that earning more money is the solution to your stress. You think, if I just hit 6 figures, I can finally breathe. But your biology is playing a trick on you. When you get a raise or a high-paying promotion, your brain receives a massive hit of dopamine. To your ancient DNA, that paycheck feels like a successful hunt. It feels like survival. But that dopamine hit has a very short half-life. It fades within 48 hours, leaving you with the reality of the 50-hour work week, the 6 a.m. alarm, and the crushing weight of responsibility. To cope with that stress, your brain enters a state of cortisol management. You start spending money not for pleasure, but for regulation. I call this the stress-spend ratio. Think about your last high-pressure Tuesday. You finished work at 6:30 p.m. You were mentally depleted. You didn't have the cognitive bandwidth to look at your pantry and cook a healthy meal, so you spent $50 on a delivery app. You didn't buy food. You bought a temporary hit of convenience to numb the exhaustion of the hunt. When you earn $100,000, you are forced to outsource your life. You pay for the dog walker. You pay for the lawn service. You pay for the $15 cocktails to decompress with colleagues. You pay the conformity tax, the thousands of dollars spent on a car, a wardrobe, and a zip code just to signal to the other hunters that you belong in the tribe. When we do a forensic audit of a $100,000 salary in 2026, the numbers are devastating. Federal and state taxes take roughly $26,000. The work support system, commuting, professional attire, and convenience meals takes another $15,000. The status debt, the interest on the SUV and the mortgage in the right neighborhood takes $30,000. This hunter is left with $29,000 of real money, and they had to trade 2,500 hours of their life to get it. That is an effective wage of $11.60 per hour. They aren't a high earner. They are a high-status slave. And there is a better way. Why does the system want you at 100K? Because at 100K, you are the perfect consumer. You have enough money to buy things, but not enough time to think about why you're buying them. This is complexity paralysis. We are taught that wealth is the result of complex maneuvers, hedge funds, high-stakes trades, and corporate climbing. But complexity is just a veil. It hides the fact that your 401k is being eaten by fees, and your time is being eaten by meetings that could have been emails. Think about the convenience loop. You work more hours to buy more convenience. You buy more convenience so you can work more hours. It's a closed-circuit energy drain. The person earning $100,000 often spends $2,000 a month just to maintain their ability to work. That's $24,000 a year. If you didn't have the job, you wouldn't have the expense. It is a work tax that never appears on your W-2. Now, let's look at the trapper. This is the person who understands the 48% rule. If you earn $52,000 a year, the math of your life changes fundamentally. Because you're not in the high-gravity environment of the 100K job, your tax friction drops off a cliff. In the 2026 tax code, a single filer earning $52K is in a significantly lower bracket. But here's the secret. If you structure even a portion of that income as low-velocity income, like small business distributions or long-term capital gains, your tax rate can hit near zero. But the real magic isn't in the taxes. It's in time equity. When you work 20 hours a week instead of 50, you reclaim 30 hours of high-value mental energy. This is your internal orchard. Health arbitrage. With 30 extra hours, you don't pay the $600 convenience tax on food. You cook high-quality whole foods. Your health insurance premiums drop because your inflammation markers drop. Hedonic reset. With 30 extra hours, you don't pay the escapism tax. You don't need a $5,000 vacation to forget your life because you actually like your life. Geographic arbitrage. The 100K hunter must live near the mammoth. They have to live in the expensive city. The 50K trapper can live anywhere. They move 40 minutes away to a town where the air is cleaner and the rent is $1,200 cheaper. When you add it all up, the person earning $52,000 actually has a real money surplus of $28,500. Look at those two numbers again. The hunter, $29,000 surplus for 2,500 hours of work. The trapper, $28,500 surplus for 1,000 hours of work. The hunter is working 1,500 extra hours for an extra $500. They are trading their youth, their health, and their Tuesday mornings for the price of a single grocery run. This is the survival premium, and it is the greatest trick the modern economy ever played. We reject the simple truth because the simple truth is boring. Our lizard brain wants the excitement of the kill, not the silence of the orchard. This brings us to the Tuesday morning test. I want you to imagine it's 10:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. The sun is out, the world is busy. The 100K earner is in a windowless conference room, arguing about a spreadsheet, feeling their blood pressure rise, and checking their watch every 10 minutes. The 50K earner is sitting on a park bench with a book and coffee. They are watching the wind in the trees. They are completely and utterly unproductive in the eyes of the tribe. Who is richer? Wealth is not the number of zeros in your bank account. Wealth is the ability to ignore the mammoth and still be safe. It is the ability to own your cognitive bandwidth. When you have 30 hours of free time, you can think strategically. You can learn the skills that will eventually turn that 50K into 50K of passive income. But the 100K earner can never do this. They are too tired to plant seeds. They can only hunt. They are stuck in a low-leverage loop where they trade time for money at a high rate, but the maintenance cost of their life consumes the profit. They are running a business with high revenue but zero margin. You want to be the business with moderate revenue and 90% margin. That is how you win the game of 2026. So, how do you transition? You don't just quit your job tomorrow. That would trigger your lizard brain's fear of starvation and cause you to panic. You start by performing a life audit. 1. Calculate your real hourly wage. Subtract your taxes, your car, your convenience spending, and your escapism costs from your salary and divide it by your total hours, including your commute. If that number is under $20, you are in the trap. 2. Identify your conformity tax. Look at your last 3 bank statements. Circle everything you bought to look the part or cope with a bad day. That is the money you are working to set on fire. 3. Build your time equity. Start reclaiming 1 hour a day. Use that hour to build an asset, not to hunt for more hours. The goal isn't to make less money. The goal is to make better money. Money that doesn't require your physical presence to exist. Stop measuring your hunt by the size of the mammoth. Start measuring it by the hours you own. Hit the like button if this math changed how you see your paycheck. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is your Tuesday morning worth? I'm Cole. I'll see you in the next audit.